Hi, it's Darnell with Oil and Recipes, and today I'm going to be making some oat black walnut chocolate chip cookies using the Gourmia FoodStation indoor grill and air fryer. And we'll see how it does baking up these cookies right now. Okay, there are a vast array of ingredients required to put this recipe together, so I'll try and go through the dry ingredients first, then the wet ingredients. I've got 1 cup of chopped up oats here. It's basically, use like a cup of oat flour if you have oat flour, but I basically chopped up the oats here in my food chopper to turn them into a bit of oat flour. I've got a half a cup of almond flour here. I've got half a cup of, no actually this is a third of a cup of black walnuts here. Third of a cup of black walnuts. I've got a 1/4 cup of dark chocolate chips. I've got a half teaspoon of sea salt. I've got 1 teaspoon of guar gum. I've got, well, that's a teaspoon of baking powder actually. That's baking powder. This is guar gum, so 1 teaspoon of guar gum right there. Got 1 teaspoon of organic monk fruit extract powder. Use like a couple tablespoons of granulated sweetener of your choice if you want. I'm going to be using this, which requires far less. And now for the wet ingredients, I've got 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I've got 2 large eggs. I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of raw honey there. And I've also got, as the last wet ingredient, a half cup of melted butter here. You probably can't see it, but there's melted butter in there. So basically from this point what I'm going to do, mix the wet ingredients in the wet bowl, dry ingredients in the dry bowl. Alright, so I've got the wet stuff in the wet bowl, dry stuff in the dry bowl. Now I'll mix the wet and the dry together. After I'm done doing that, I'll get I'll take like scoops and kind of pat them out into cookie shape on this parchment paper here. So for now, just getting everything all mixed together. Alright, so I've got everything all mixed together fairly well here in the bowl. I'm going to start scooping out cookies onto the parchment paper. Parchment paper, I've got it kind of sized to be able to lift the sides and just kind of put it in after things are preheated pretty easily. So I'm going to do that. For you who happen to have the griddle plate attachment that comes with this cooker, because some models have that, I guess you could try using that griddle plate. But for us who don't, we do it this way. So I'm hitting bake. I'm going to go up to 375. I found with this cooker you have to go a little hotter than you would with some other countertop cookers. That's been my experience. I'm going to try 20 minutes cooking time. If it needs longer, I'll give it longer. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and hit start while it's preheating and get my cookies scooped out. Alright, time to add the food. This is going to be the tricky part for me trying to get it in. I put it on this cutting board, the parchment paper on this cutting board, so it's a little elevated. I'll probably have to move the timer back to get this time. Get that down there. This side here I need to get, down a little bit. There we go. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get. So, I mean, kick the time back to 20 minutes. This thing basically it beeps for 5 beeps, but those 5 beeps take 10 seconds, and it starts counting down as soon as it starts beeping. But we'll go ahead and let this cook for a while, and then I'll bring you back and we'll see what we got. Alright, I've let them go 15 minutes. I hit cancel once to pause. I'm just opening up. I'm going to just feel the top of one. They feel done to me, so I'm going to get them on out and basically let you see how they look. But they look pretty good. What I'm noticing is that the ones on the outside rim are basically cooked more than the ones on the inside. So it's like I guess the edges where the air blows cook more than the inside, which is interesting. Try and get this, see if I can get this parchment paper out. messing up my cookies. I guess I could just take the whole basket out. All I want is cookies, which are falling off the paper. Stay in place, cookies. Alright. Like the paper, I guess the paper is more brittle now, so I can't get this. Alright. I got that edge of paper. Oh, I'm making a mess. Well, over here on the cutting board to get a better look at them. I'll move the camera so you can get a better view. Okay, got them out. Just gonna try and turn them over. You see the bottom's got kind of black because you got heat coming from the bottom. You do have heat from the air vents blowing over the top. If you didn't see the full review of this cooker, be sure to check that out. I show in detail everything inside and how it does its thing. But these are the finished product. I'm going to let them cool for a little bit. So I've given things time to cool down a little bit, or a bit. So I'm going to get a couple of the big ones off here. See, the bottom's pretty hard cooked. That's just 15 minutes. Like I said, you know, from my experience with this cooker, I need to use a little more heat than I would with lots of others. You can check out this channel, over 800 different videos cooking things and doing reviews. Reviewed well over 70 cookers here on the channel, countertop cookers over the years. But this one, it just needs a little more to do what I need to do. And if you watch the initial review, you also see more details why I do what I do the way I do it. So let's go ahead and do a taste test. So thank God for these cookies. Let's go ahead and taste one here. Okay. Whenever you're making something with oats, you probably should have some water handy. So it took me a while to chew it down because I should have had some water. But anyway, they turned out decent. They didn't like overcook inside or anything. I mean, even though the bottom's got a hard cook, the insides are cooked pretty decent in just 15 minutes. And that's using a higher temperature basically to get that done. But basically, the recipe turned out decent. I think it's kind of a mellow flavor. You know, some of you might want more sweetener. If you want to do that, that's your choice to up the sweeteners up, you know, as much as you like. But it comes out kind of with a mellow flavor, but it's good all the same. And so got the black walnuts in there, got the chocolate chips in there. And so you can do, you know, this all alternative flours, no type of wheat-based flour there in this cook. So if you're into that, you can use a recipe such as this. And so I do hope that you enjoyed this video. You can check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. That's superwaveovenrecipes.com, where I have lots of recipes and things there. And also, nothing in this video is sponsored, nothing was given to me, and that's the way I like it. And if you did like this video, check out in the video description lots of ways to help the channel, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, link to the Amazon shop where you pay the same price, help the channel, all that stuff's there. And so if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and good eating.